it is time that we talk about the album that we have been alluding to all episode.
Oh, God bless. Actually, before you can go ahead. I want to see. I'm gonna check all our plays on this.
How many times have we listened to this album in the past week and a half or so?
All right. Well, Jake's aren't on there.
All right, I'll find it for you. Hold up.
Oh, I'm beating Jacob by 9 plays. Let's go.
9 plays.
And Jacob and I together have listened to the songs off this album 1,000 times. So
okay, so we already crossed the 1,000 barrier without me.
Yeah, and then we've got Justin at 82.
Hello.
Hi, Justin. All right, let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit.
Yeah.
Bad Omens and their album, The Death of Peace of Mind.
And I have to make a note, we have another special guest returning. Oh, that's from our October episode.
Hi, it's me again.
Hey.
Welcome
she has seen
back.
Bad Omens live.
I have.
And she has played the album at the bubble tea store that she works at on the speaker throughout the day on repeat. And all their customers do not like it.
I respect the effort. And the attempt.
Preach the good word.
Customers. Fuck the customers. That's for real. Do what you got to do. Oh, man.
So where do we start with this behemoth of an album?
I don't even know. I guess, do you want to start with the opener? Like, is that really where we go? Because I don't know. There's so many things.
We're just gonna do it track by track. Like what?
Well, I don't know how to approach this, y'all. I'm gonna be honest, because there's a lot here to unpack. Okay, actually, no. Here's what I'm executive decision. Everybody, your top 3 tracks off this album, starting with Jake. Go.
Wait, in order?
Yes.
Like 1, 2, okay.
Yeah.
The Death of Peace of Mind, Like a Villain, The Gray.
You're putting me on the spot, dude. I don't know.
Take Me First, Just Pretend, The Gray.
Okay. I'm gonna say Just Pretend, Bad Decisions, somebody else.
You go first.
What? Oh, my list is very similar to Jake's. It's basically Death of Peace of Mind, Like a Villain, and Bad Decisions.
Yes, we love to see Bad Decisions there.
This is hard, dude.
That sounds like a you problem.
You're thinking too much of
say
this. You got
Just
this.
Pretend, The Death of Peace of Mind, Concrete Jungle.
Wow.
Ooh, some Concrete Jungle appreciation. Is that where we start talking about the songs then? Because it is the opener.
I think we do, and actually, because Jacob's got it as his Discord status, so I want to hear.
It's been twice, actually. I've updated.
Yeah,
it twice.
exactly. What makes that top 3 for you?
Oh, just the ending.
Oh, okay.
I love
Wow.
I love the whole build up, and then I honestly, when I first heard the song, I actually thought it was underwhelming because it took so long to get to the.
Yeah, we didn't like it.
To get to the point, but then
you re-listened to it a couple times.
More than a couple.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Kind of grows on you.
It grew on me a lot as an opener in general too. Like the song being good aside, I had my fucking Google Doc or whatever where I rate everything, and I had it pretty low as an opener in general because I was like, yeah, it's whatever. I agree. I thought it took too long to build, but after like my 20th listen to the album, I was like, damn, this fits pretty well.
Pretty good, yeah.
Also, update. I have the official stats on how much I've listened to this album since it came out on the 25th.
Alrighty.
The total number is 341.
Okay, so we got 341 for you. So we'll say 350. You know, Jacob and I are basically at 500. You know, we got Justin at like 80. So between the 5 of us here, yeah,
that's
80.
actually impressive, honestly.
Yeah, that's more than I thought.
Excuse me.
Between the 5 of us here, we are definitely over 1,500 total plays on this album, and it came out 2 weeks ago.
Less than,
right?
Less than 2 weeks ago.
That's ridiculous.
I hope Bad Omens enjoy the $3 in cash from Spotify
From
revenue.
our
Spotify. Each band member can get $50 from
Sad
us.
part is, Jake, you buying the CD was more than all those books
True,
combined.
true.
That's
True.
Hey, I bought tickets to next week, so I've supported.
It's not next. It's this Friday.
You're right.
Are you
looked at them
are
from
you
a
buying a
distance.
CD or an album when you go to the
Okay,
show?
this is what I'll do. If one of the or any of the band members go to the merch booth, I'll get it signed and then I'll buy it.
CD.
That's the only reason That's the only.
So you'll have
way-
them sign it on the table, just waiting for someone else to pick it
Okay, I
up.
would buy it and then get it signed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go up to them, you just pick something up off their merch table, hand it to them, go, "Can you sign this?"
Here.
Then you pay for it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So-
it goes up. It goes up $20.
Yeah, I'm sure that could. Yeah, exactly.
Remember when we were going to talk about Concrete Jungle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did, bro.
We did.
I kinda feel like we
wait,
didn't.
We gotta talk
He-
about
he-
the
it's 'cause
atmosphere.
that's
I
all he
wanted
had to
add
say.
something.
Birds and stuff.
Stop! That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, say
I was
it.
gonna say the more you listen to the song, you realize that there's actual jungle sounds in the background, like birds and forests. I mean, and
I've listened to that
waterfalls
song like
and
at
all that
least
stuff.
30, 40 times. How have I not noticed that?
You
The
have
one
to
thing
be-
that I picked
Yeah.
up on, the one thing I picked up on from Concrete Jungle is that it uses the same synth thing that the Death of Peace of Mind has.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
figured that was a bit of like a teaser for what's to come. Kind of like skipping forward with what it cost being an interlude into like a villain. Concrete Jungle kind of does the same, using moments from Death of Peace of Mind and maybe other tracks too. But most notably that little synth thing that makes the Death of Peace of Mind incredible.
I want to.
So overall, an incredible opener. Yes, you can go. Sorry.
What's up?
So from what I heard, that Bad Omens started off as a metal band, but since the genre change of this album has been so different from what they usually put out, how is everyone taking it?
Bad Omens can do no wrong, period.
Bad
The
Omens
best
were
thing-
not good before this album, but now that they've switched their genre, this is like album of the year.
Yeah, that's the thing they've released.
I'm gonna be honest. They just sounded like Bring Me before, and now they don't, and it's great.
But they
Yeah.
still do.
They do, and it's the worst track on the album.
Which
They
one are you
sound like it in
referencing?
multiple
Which one are you
songs.
referencing there?
I'm talking about I Don't Want the Money.
Okay,
They do
because
actually,
I
no, they
don't
sound
think
like it a lot on
that's
Miracle
wrong.
as well.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Miracles, like that
Yeah, but
chorus.
they sound better than Bring Me Ever has on Miracle.
The
so it's fine.
chorus of Miracle is like, wait, did they just get an Ollie Sykes feature?
Yeah, except he
I
sounds
I don't hear it anywhere else on this album. Literally just that chorus.
I hear it in Artificial Suicide.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Another song that shouldn't be on the album.
Oh,
That's nuts.
lovely. Wow. There's some
Cringe.
opinions here.
Look, I'm the designated vibey one of the podcast. All right, I like my lo-fi shit and my emo rap
Oh.
and all that.
So where the hell is
Lo-fi.
somebody else in your top 3 songs on this album?
It was number 3 behind Bad
No.
Decisions. Me?
Oh wait, was it?
Yeah.
I thought
It
it was
Ju-
just,
Just
pretend.
Just pretend Bad Decisions and somebody else.
Honestly,
I
lo-fi
could have sworn I
stuff.
heard something else.
This is
No, we
that's
said
the
somebody.
episode title.
Oh.
Like Bad Omens. I think this is only achieved because Noah's his clean vocals have improved so drastically, even since
They
the
were
last
good on
album.
the last album.
They were. They've just gotten
Just
a
gotten
lot
better.
better. Yeah, exactly. And that enables the tracks like Bad Decisions, Who Are You, Somebody Else, even I would say the first part of Concrete Jungle as well. I don't think they could have pulled that off on the last album, or some of the notes that he hits in somewhere like Take Me First.
I would
for
argue
kind
the
of
Gray as
electronic
well.
interlude. Yeah, I mean, there's just the vocals on this album are so impressive all the way through. The production is nuts. Shout out
The
Eric
production
Ron.
is insane, yeah.
Yeah, Eric Ron is a genius. I think he also did the mixing on Limits when that dropped. But yeah, the amount of production notes, even like y'all were mentioning before with the jungle noises in Concrete Jungle, to the electronics in Take Me First, the synth and Death of Peace of Mind, everything in track 7 through 11, even with something like I Don't Want the Money, What Do You Want From Me that I don't like as much, there's still the way that it's produced is so impressive, honestly. Like every aspect of this band is at its peak, I think, in terms of demonstrating what they can do. And I think that Eric Ron's production puts that bow on top of it that makes this the album that it is. Like those electronic and finishing touches and production notes, I don't think this album is the same without them. You know? I don't, with the amount of vibey things that are on this, how do you guys feel about tracks 12 through 14 being on the album? Not as like songs, but just with them being here. With I Don't Want the Money, What Do You Want From Me, and Artificial Suicide being,
I know
would say,
that
probably the heaviest ones.
you made the case that this album would be better if it was just somebody else into Miracle,
Yes.
and I think that works.
I still believe it. That's my
also-
playlist. That's my playlist.
I also think that God, it's so hard.
It's not hard for me.
fuck.
Take them out, and it's a much better album.
Thanks.
I really enjoy I Don't Want the Money. I think What Do You Want From Me got fucked over by being a single. And then I
Yes.
think Artificial Suicide and Miracle are almost interchangeable as closers.
Mm.
Because I think Artificial Suicide could be a fantastic closer to this album in the way that it ends like into the white noise, but like the word noise gets cut off. I think that would be sick to end this album on. I also think it's sick the way that Miracle wraps this album up.
I
So I'm conflicted.
I wasn't sold on Miracle as a closer. It feels, I don't know. There's not really, I don't feel like there's a song on here that's like closer material. Maybe that's just me. Probably is.
Concrete Jungle has more opener energy than Miracle has closer energy. Is what I'm getting.
Yes.
I just want to add in a little something. Jacob craps on me for this on a daily because I'm the person
Sounds about right.
who
You're gonna hate
doesn't
her. I know what
like.
she's gonna say.
Oh,
I
no.
don't like to listen to songs in order. I shuffle them. So when you guys say something opening, something closing, probably the first 2 times I listen to the album, it's in that order. But other than that, it's just what's next. Surprise me.
She's.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of the same, but kind of not.
Oh, you two are monsters.
It's
You know,
I'm kind of the same because like but the thing is,
Yeah.
I don't put it in shuffle. I usually just look at the playlist and I just analyze which one do I want to listen to next, and then I'll just play that one or add it in the queue or whatever. But then there's the other part of me where it's like I add all the new songs into my playlist. So I listen to Concrete Jungle, into Nowhere to Go, and to Take Me First, and then I get to Bad Decisions in my playlist, and I'm like, wait, fuck, I'm missing The Death of Peace of Mind. Shit. And then I need to open up the album and listen to those tracks. I mean, that's not always, like, the first couple of days especially, it's like, when I go from Take Me First into Bad Decisions, I feel like I'm missing out on the experience on this album. Big time.
Okay.
See, you know, no, I'm gonna support her on this one in particular because I think that outside of like what it costs into
People are
like a villain
insane.
and maybe Who Are You into somebody else, there aren't the songs on here could. Concrete
No,
Jungle isn't
This is
strong
the
enough.
Hivemind.
Of an
We have
opener.
order here. We have order in the Hivemind.
No, because look, Concrete Jungle is a good opener and a strong opener. It is not strong enough in the same vein as maybe a To Better Days by Rain City Drive, where it has
Don't
to be
you
at
like
the start.
numbers anymore? One comes after two, two comes after three.
I actually want
Carry
to
on.
Well, because look, the opener and closer aren't definitive enough as openers and closers to
No,
justify
Concrete Jungle
having
is.
them in the shot. I don't think so. I don't think it is. It's a good opener, but I would support the shuffle. I didn't shuffle this album once, but I would support it. Like, it makes sense, and I think it's just because of the nature of the variety on this album. I think that
our podcast members with shufflers.
Yeah. Oh well, now that I can't support you on.
Agents
I
of
don't
chaos.
fuck with that. I don't fuck with that.
Dirty shufflers.
Yeah.
I wanted to say like the diversity, like you were saying, but I want to say like it sounds like so many other artists we listen to. Like there's a song, I think I said Bad Decision, sounds the vocalist or Noah sounds like
Noah.
the vocalist from Noya, and then like in Miracle, he sounds like Ollie, and then in I think it's I Don't Want the Money, he sounds like the dude from Paloma, and then like there's other songs that sound like Too Close to Touch, and then there's other songs that sound like Grand City Drive.
Yeah, the Too Close to Touch influence is really what I pulled the most from, and I think it's just because I've spent so much time with Haven't Been Myself and those I'm Hard to Love But So Are You EPs, and then also too, it's produced by the same guy as all those Too Close to Touch material. So, say it's the same thing with that Monomania by The Word Alive. I hear a lot of that here, especially on a song like Take Me First. And again, I think it just comes down to the production choices.
Can we quickly make note of the similarities to Chemicals by Normandy on that song?
That too.
Oh, which song?
Chemicals by Normandy and Take Me First, the little electronic thing in the background of the chorus or whatever.
Yeah, the melody is almost it's not identical, but it's really close. And like the pacing and timing of everything.
I didn't hear it at first, but then I'm like, I literally can't compare it to anything else better, so I think you're right.
Which, Take Me First, I think has probably been the biggest grower for me on this album. And, that makes sense because Chemicals is my favorite song off Dark and Beautiful Secrets. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter shitting on this album, saying that Just Pretend and Artificial Suicide are the only two good songs and everything else is just kind of there. And it really makes me upset because I really, really appreciate the musical diversity on this album. And I think that if this might be a take, if you get rid of Bad Decisions, Who Are You, and Somebody Else, this is half the album that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thank you. Thank you. I need the vibes. I think that
I agree.
It offsets, even if there aren't a lot of uncleans on the album prior to it, it still offsets the higher energy. And I think that not enjoying them and being like, I want more songs like Dethrone and Artificial Suicide is just really close-minded. And if you aren't listening to this album and appreciating the vibes, you're doing a disservice to yourself, the album, and the band.
Well,
that's what I'm
think
gonna say.
Because of that section in the album, it actually is like it justifies the 15 tracks. It gives you a break.
The reason to it. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I want to kind of go off that. I don't know if I have heard an album that the pacing feels this smooth since Dream State's Primrose Path, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, if not my favorite album of all time. I feel like just the pacing on everything just feels perfect. Like, you get the first three songs where you're kind of in that like typical just like song to song to song, and then you get the complete change in sound of The Death of Peace of Mind, which goes into the sick interlude of What It Cost. And then Bad Decisions is placed like perfectly, I think. Who Are You and Somebody Else I almost feel are interchangeable, and you could probably do with one or the other. But both are great and are a nice break in the album. I think even What Do You Want From Me, which is probably the weakest song on this album, still has a really good spot on just pacing the atmosphere of this album.
Actually, can we talk about that? Because I don't think we did enough when we talked about it as a single.
What Do You Want From Me? Yeah. I was just thinking, like, how come everyone's just avoiding this big elephant in the room of this song?
Yeah. Because it got done dirty as a single.
True.
I don't
What does
know.
that mean?
Oh, goodbye, Justin.
Justin.
He's offline on Discord. I think his internet crashed.
Okay, I'll replace Justin for temporary.
He's back?
Oh,
Welcome back.
Hello.
Sorry, Justin, we already replaced you.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I think What Do You Want From Me is a good song instrumentally, and it's the only problem with it is the effects on the vocals.
Yeah.
And how low they're tuned. Literally,
I think my only problem is that it was released next to Artificial Suicide when it's not an interlude into Artificial Suicide.
Yeah, that made no sense to me.
Like, if I added this song into my playlist at the same time as the rest of the new songs on the 25th, I probably would have like a much higher opinion on the song, I think. But it just sat in the shadow of Artificial Suicide for 2 months that I kind of don't feel like it can crawl out of that hole.
Did you guys like the what is it? Not the prequel. The transition song, the intro song
What
to
It
Like a
Cost.
Villain. It's called What It Costs.
So good.
Yes,
Really
this
good.
So
violin,
good.
it's good.
The violin,
Oh.
everything. These two songs are the only songs that I will listen in order. Other than that, everything
you
else
should.
is shuffled.
As you should.
Yeah.
I respect.
That's fair. I can respect that.
I'm
Okay.
once again asking Spotify to include a link feature
Yes.
for this and others. I will say I think it does a great job. If you know what, if they were going to release a double track thing like they did with What Do You Want From Me
Yeah.
or Suicide, why didn't they just do What It Costs and Like a Villain?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I will say I wish the transition was a little smoother between the two, because I think
What?
yeah, well, I
So-
think it does a great job building up to it, but then it like
There's like a
cuts
half
back.
second pause.
I originally
Yeah.
thought that, but I actually I think it works.
Oh no, it works.
It works.
I mean, it's
But
like, oh
it
yeah, we get like a
could
9 out of 10
be
transition.
too
We get a
long.
10.
Yeah.
I
What
wasn't
Derek said.
asking you. I was
Why
asking
not?
everyone else if you thought
My
the break is
bad.
was too long.
L. Jacob.
As much as we did talk about how much we didn't really vibe as much with What Do You Want From Me, it's actually got some of my favorite lyrics on the album.
If I could
wanted to
hear them.
put that up. This isn't over till we talk in the light. Said I was sober, but you knew that I lied. You gripped the wheel, maybe I'd like to try. I'll flip it over with you and me inside. I won't atone for debts I paid for in full. Hang up my shame on display for you. Which besides Just Pretend is probably my third favorite lyrics on the album, maybe. I don't know. There's so much with the lyricism to appreciate here. I feel like that.
Can I go into the lyricism a little bit?
Yeah,
actually?
go
Or
for it. 'Cause I
Did
feel
you
like
have a
there's, like, lot
point?
about the vocals and
Because I kind of
Yeah.
picked up on a bit of like a love story from song to song, like as the album
Yes.
progressed with lyricism. Where like the first lyric I have is from Nowhere to Go, where before the breakdown you get I'm in the driver's seat now, where it's kind of like you start the album where you're taking control of like a relationship or something like that. You're like happy with where it's at, I guess. And then you get to the death of peace of mind, which obviously love is the death of peace of mind. It's starting to fall apart. Then you get Like a Villain, where it says like we're not the same. Bad decisions should be obvious. And then you get The Gray with lyrics of I can wait for you at the bottom. That's Just Pretend. I didn't write down the lyrics. I literally just wrote the story. My bad. I can wait for you at the bottom is in Just Pretend. The Gray, you said I did it to myself, tried to be someone else. You can see it's starting to fracture more and more as the album gets deeper. And then by the end of it, in Miracle, you get I'm fucking depressed, I hide it with sex and drink till it's fatal. It's like the ultimate crash and burn of a relationship. So as much as I remember when the album came out, we were debating like you could take out tracks 12 through 14 and the meaning of the album wouldn't change that much. But at this point, I think I would argue otherwise. I don't think you can take out any of these 15 songs without like ruining the album in some sense. Like you're not ruining this masterpiece.
I still disagree, because I feel like the conclusion up to Miracle gets answered in the title of 10 and 11, where it's who are you, somebody else, where you finally realize that the person who you are with isn't the person who they used to be, and it's like you're with a stranger and the relationship is over and there's nothing you can do about it because that person's drifted away. But the whole thing being like love is the death of peace of mind, whether it be like you're worrying about the other person cheating or you spend a lot of time worrying about the other person and their well-being at the expense of your own, you know? I don't know. A lot of the lyricism here is very personal, I guess, to me, with some of the things that I've experienced. And I have my my playlist where it's tracks 1 through 11 followed by Miracle, and I cut out the last three, or not the last three, but tracks 12 through 14, and I feel very satisfied with the album as a whole, both in terms of like the track listing, the story. I feel like it's complete with those. And so I would have liked maybe something where tracks 12 through 14 don't feel so out of place sonically, or they get released as deluxe tracks, maybe. I'm fine with a 15-track album. I just wish they were something different that fit more with the sound of everything else, because I don't want the money for me kind of brings that it works as a transition maybe between like Somebody Else and Miracle, but it still just doesn't feel necessary or like a track I want to go back to, which I guess might be a personal preference type of thing. But I don't know. I think there was just so much variety here that 12 through 14 is almost too much because it's too drastically different than the rest of the album. Artificial Suicide and What Do You Want From Me, if nothing else, fall victim to that. You could argue I don't want the money, but
I really enjoy going back to I Don't Want the Money. I don't know what the fuck sound it is, but after the chorus with like the ping, whatever, ping.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Whatever that noise is called, I'm like, damn, that shit's smooth.
You're going back for the ping for real. And it's a lot of nitpicking to do for an album that like I love to death. Like,
yeah.
This is, I mean, I think the amount of times we played it is a justification to, I mean, I got like over 150 plays on Bad Decisions and Just Pretend alone.
I can't think of another album that we have been so collectively high on since To Better Days.
Yep.
Nope, absolutely.
I think like if we were to make a Hivemind Hall of Fame of albums that all four of us just love to such an extent, I think it's like you take this, you get To Better Days, and then I think from there it's like you argue for Sleep Talk.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
I can't think of any other that the four of us maybe are all into.
Massive testament to the talent of Bad Omens and just how good this album is in general. There is truly, I feel like we say sometimes that there's something for everybody on an album, and where it's like Normandy, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, there might be something for everybody. There is truly something for everybody on here. Like
I have played Bad Decisions and somebody else from my sister who was into like just straight up pop music, and she was like, send me the song, I'm adding it to my playlist.
Yeah, as somebody into straight up pop music, I would have to agree.
I haven't had a chance to play this for my other sister yet, since she's off at college far away from me. But the moment I get a chance to play it, actually probably next week over spring break, I am forcing her to like one of the 3 chill melodic songs on this album.
Yeah, this album was actually... So I remember the last time I was on here, I was here for the Ice Nine Kills, their
Welcome
album.
to Horrorwood.
Yes, I'm gonna be so honest with you. I could only listen to that album when it's like broad daylight. No, because I'm a scaredy cat, you know, the dark, ghosts,
I got you.
all that stuff I don't mess with. So could you imagine me listening to this song about getting killed and all this stuff at like 3 a.m. in the morning?
No,
I honestly thought death was on my doorstep. So for me to compare these two albums, it was a lot easier for me to listen to this song. It was so much more enjoyable. And except for I don't like What Do You Want From Me, and you know, Artificial Suicide is a little loud because it's not what I usually listen to.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Artificial Suicide definitely feels out of place on this album.
Yeah, that's what Jacob said the first time.
It's a fucking banger of a song as far as I'm concerned, but it feels very out of place sonically.
Yeah, Jacob thought that they just had to slap the
token heavy song.
I said it was fan service. That's what I said.
Fan service,
a heavy song in there just so they could say they had one. And then something else he did was he like went on Reddit and he saw these people complaining how they completely changed the genre and all this stuff. And then he's like, I was like, what? I think the album's really good. He goes, this is what they used to play. And he played Dethrone for me and he switches it to Bad Decisions. I was like, okay, I get your point.
Yeah. There's some people that wanted this band to just be straight up metalcore, but this band is so much better for being more than just straight up metalcore.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like they're completely just losing their identity. They're just experimenting, and you know.
Well, let's look.
This is an evolution. This is an evolution of Bad Omens.
1 million monthly listeners.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's working for them.
Let's look at Census Fail for no particular reason.
Shit, bro.
900K.
So let's just establish real quick that Bad Omens, actually, let me see exactly what that 1.3 million is. They're only 50,000 monthly listeners behind Under Oath, who they are second headlining slot for. So
who currently also may not be showing up now.
No, that's Spirit Box.
Oh, never mind. I lied. Wrong band.
Now I'm depressed.
There's too many.
Yeah, this band deserves all the success in the world, and people are like, oh, they sold out. I don't care. I literally do not give a shit. This band is so much better than they used to be, and I love this on so many aspects.
My favorite Bad Omens song does not come from this album, but this album is leaps and bounds better than 100%. The prior two albums. It is not even fucking close. And I had Finding God Before God Finds Me in my top 10 albums of 2019. And it is not fucking close to this.
Mercy's your favorite Bad Omens song, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Limits.
And then like 7 tracks off of here before anything else. Is there anything more to be said?
We've said a lot.
We have said a lot, and it's because this album deserves every bit.
We need to talk about the horns in Miracle.
The horns.
Oh yeah, okay. They stole from the score.
I was gonna say they sound like Bring Me, like it.
You mean they made it better?
Well, yeah,
like something off of it.
They made. It sounds better.
Like they made the score better. Yeah, they did the score song better than the score, and that's just not something I ever expected to say. That just shows
the diversity of Noah's vocals.
Yeah, I can't believe that we've been discussing this album for, 25-30 minutes at this point, and I still feel like I haven't really been able to appreciate Nowhere to Go and Somebody Else properly. Mm-hmm. Well, Nowhere to Go is my most played song since the album came out. I'm like close to 70 plays on it at this point, I think, which compared to you, Derek, is not as insane, but...
I got a couple listens on actually I'm gonna go find out exactly.
I need to take a moment of appreciation for the first drum fill in the chorus of Nowhere to Go. It's only in the first chorus of that song, but I hear that and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in for a fucking ride, dude. Like, they didn't need to add a drum fill on the first chorus. They could have saved the drum fill for the final chorus like most bands do. But no. Bad Omens are just built different. I think I need to make my closing words on this album what I tweeted for like 4 days after the album came out. And it is just that it is simply unfair for a band as good as Bad Omens to exist in the same world as every other band that released music on February the 25th.
I don't know what it was, but...
All right, there we go. So my top 2 tracks on the album are Bad Decisions and Just Pretend, and I've got 129 plays on Bad Decisions and 121 on Just Pretend. So
great songs.
Yeah,
lovely.
Just phenomenal album, front to back. Even if there's some stuff that I'm not super happy with as like choices, they're still good songs. And yeah, I don't think there has ever been an album that I have listened to this much after its release.
The only other comparison that I have is Amaranth's Helix in 2020. And at this point, The Death of Peace of Mind is close to overpassing it in how many times I've listened to that album.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I've been around for two new Dance Gavin Dance albums, and even Afterburner, I didn't listen to this. Man, I listened to Afterburner a lot after it dropped. Yeah, I am captivated by this album. It is a work of art.
A work of art, for certain. Absolutely a work of art. So now, is there anything more for us to say on this album? Or are we good to start wrapping this show up?
If any of you guys ever choose to watch Bad Omens live, which is a great decision, I think the love that you have for this album makes that performance so much better. Because me walking into it, not having to listen to a single song by them, and having The Death of Peace of Mind be their first song, glorious. It was lovely. I think Jacob's already told you how they started everything, but it was amazing.
Yes, when we saw them with Ice Nine Kills.
Great experience.